which is rare for me. This is a Maddogmountainarts video. We're just doing a quick one. I usually do a Sunday live, but it's become rather difficult to get a Sunday live done. But I promised a raffle, so we're doing a quick raffle, all right? You guys are gonna watch me fill up my coffee, and then I'm gonna spout off for a minute about the landslide that we ran into the other day. And hey Josh, how's it going today? How are you today? It is raining here, and I'm just oh, I gotta shove out, but oh, that's good. That is good. It has been crazy, actually, honestly. It has been crazy, but it's raining, like 100% rain today, so blah. Yeah. I did just Google some like landslide facts because I was I haven't got to air all the videos, but here's how it went. So like one day me and my friend Skip went out looking for the landslide. Okay, wait, back that up. I seen on Facebook that somebody posted about a landslide. Right? And I was like, I gotta find this landslide. So we went out, we looked for the landslide. We ended up like going like way off. I got distracted by some granite boulders. You guys might have seen those videos. The granite boulders were super cool. Really big, like really big pegs in them. Thanks very much. I've had this one for a while. My buddy Darcy has the same one. And like really well formed crystals, so you can tell, and lots of big boulders like all in the same area and all covered with like the same amount of moss. So I totally got sidetracked by the granite because it's not just white, and some of it was also like sulfury brown, right? Which is gonna tie into my story here. And the like chunks of crystal on it were big enough that they were actually like coming out the side. Yeah, and there was some trees growing on top of some of the boulders, which means that they were like eating the minerals in the boulders. So I ended up like peeling back the moss, and here's the roots eating the rock, and here's these crystals, and I'm like, yeah. So we got totally distracted, and I found bones, you know, all the fun stuff about being outside. So that day we never did find the landslide. But so then I tracked down the lady that had like put the landslide on her Facebook or whatever and asked her which way to go. And I'm kind of terrible with directions because I get distracted, but the next time that me and Skip went out, we did find the landslide, but it was super cold. Yeah, right. It was an adventure, but it was super cold the day that we found it. So I'm like trying to make you guys videos, and I'm like, right, I'm trying to pick up like rocks and stuff, but it was cool. It was cold. There was water. I wore my running shoes. I got super cold. I couldn't even like really pick anything up to bring it home. Yes, thanks everybody. Thanks. So. And then we had to go and get Wolfgang. So we just kind of like scurried up the landslide as much as we could. But of course, I filled up my bag, and my buddy Skip's like trying to collect me specimens, right? And I'm like, my bag's full. And then he didn't really understand. We get back to the truck, and he like picks up my bag, and he's like, holy. And I'm like, yeah, dude, my bag's full, right? I think the bears are done. I think we're done. So that's why we were kind of like, it's kind of like, it sucks that it's cold, but the bonus is no bears, just cougars now. Now we're into cougar season. So yeah, no. Okay, Josh, I'm going to put your name on a thing for the raffle here. All right. I think that, I can't remember if you've sent me your address or not. So yeah, which we were out the other day and I saw deer prints, which means like our area is probably still safe. I'm in like a wildlife corridor, because due to the fact that it's a canyon on each side, the animals have to come down like through the chute. I'm going to put you in the draw here too, Tricky Ricky. So, I don't know if you guys, I'll go through my email. If you haven't sent me your email, if you haven't sent me your address, send me your address so I can send you something. Even if you don't win the raffle, you can send me your address anyways. You can trust me. We're friends, right? I'll send you something good. Because this is kind of like my Christmas draw. But, yeah, Wolfgang, he's just been, well, I really want to include him, and I'm going to continue to include him. Oh, nice. What's he getting new at the store? It's really hard for me to focus right now because when I'm like with Wolfgang, I'm really trying to focus on answering all his questions in a very like positive manner and like trying to prop him up lots. So when we're doing a live, I'm kind of just letting it like go or trying to let it go. So I'm not like, right? Oh, all the staples, right? All the staples. So I got to go pick him up today. And actually, he was pretty funny today because we're going to go to the restaurant and get nuggets. And then he was like, Mummy, can we go and sit somewhere, maybe where there's water and some rocks? And I was like, ah, you are my kid, right? You are my kid, right? Hey, lazy watchdog, how's it going? So let's do this draw, but let's talk about the landslide. Okay, so, right? So that day we get in there, one of the first things that I notice about the landslide, besides that the composition of the landslide is mainly granite, is that it stinks. It stinks like rotten eggs in there, and like the landslide's massive. And so there's a river, like where I park my truck, there's a river, and I'm always picking out like epidote greenstone out of there. On the other side, a girlfriend of mine has told me that there's hot springs on the other side, and you can always kind of like see this like foggy, you can see these little clouds puffing out, right? And she has actually like offered me to go through her property and go and look for these little, like, she says there's like mud, hot bubbly mud coming out of the ground, right? So we need to do a little tradesy because she's been trying to do like a YouTube with these, she breeds like Australian mini shepherds. You ever seen those? Fuck, they're cute. They are super cute, but I think they're like probably like $2,000 a puppy or whatever. And so she's trying to get some foothold on this YouTube channel where she just like sets up the puppies and they like run around a little pen, and it is super cute. But I'm gonna give her a hand with that, and in trade she's gonna let us go and check out these sulfur pits, right? Do you? That would be cute too. That would be very cute also. Our miniature Doberman pinchers, so that's Wolfgang's watch. Okay, so landslide. Here's where I park my truck. Here's the landslide, okay? So the trick was you had to stay to the left. You had to take 2 rights, and then you had to stay to the left. So that's why we didn't find it before, because we went like way right. So we get in there. There's displaced water. There's like a stream. You can see in my video, I'm like crossing a stream, and then there's all this sand. The sand's like filled with mica. It's like pinky, peachy, and we're filled with granite, a little bit of basalt, and a lot of that greenstone, that epidote colored greenstone stuff. So I do have some specimens, but they're hard to see when it's not like It's hard to see when they're not wet, but like this came out of there. This is actually really green. And this one's rippled. That's cool, hey? I was watching this Dan Hurd thing last night, and he was all talking about, and here I go, distraction noodle. Some of these, yeah, and some of these that I find in my area, it's like GPT says that they're a tremolite, actinolite, a tremolite, actinolite, like jadeite kind of rock, right? But then my rock book here, this one that I've just got, this rocks and, there's a glove in there, this rocks and minerals, it says that it's like green marble. And then I seen Dan Hurd have a post where he like shined one up just like this, except heart shaped, and he was calling it like green, do I want to say rainforest? I don't know. Anyways, it looked just like the kind of rocks that I was bringing home. So I don't know if it's a marble. It could possibly be a marble. But I was kind of thinking that it was a tremolite, actinolite, that's where the layers came from. Chlorite, actinolite, tremolite. But maybe I'm just going to have to get more into that. I know that this shade is more of a like pistachio, which I associate with epidote, which where this came from, I have actually found like cylinder, epidote crystals there, and I pick a lot of green rock out of there. And then this one also, Wally sent me a message about this. Can I zoom in on this side a little bit? So these were dendritic, like dendritic fungus fossils that typically form on this type of rock. So he sent me a little screenshot about it, but I didn't write it down, so I can't remember what to tell you guys. I know, right? But it was very cool. So this was found in the landslide. All right. So interesting. Yes. Very interesting. Because what else did this landslide unearth, right? What else? That's what I'm interested about. So, and then out of there, I gotta say, like you've seen in my video too, I like pick this up. And quite often when I pick these up, I'm always like, hornblende. Because that's what I associate these little the black crystals as hornblende. And there is, this is a gabbro, okay? But it's like a hornblende gabbro or a luso gabbro, because it's so light colored and it's got the plagioclase. It's light colored because it's more than 50% silica. And it has the plagioclase feldspar in it, the white spots. But the black spots are hornblendes, which is a phyllosilicate in the same category as tremolite, actinolite. Okay, so this is where, like, when you see me muttering in my videos, it's like, it's a lot, and it can be like, I should be more specific, but I'm always like, whoo, right? So sorry about that, but that's where it all kind of like ties in or whatever. So like also in that landslide, we found some of this, which is probably, what do we want to say? Which is just like fool's gold pyrite, chalcosite, chalcopyrite. But where you find this mineral, you can also find gold. Okay, so I was excited to find that, and it's on looks like it's attached to a piece of basalt, but it's got the layers, right? So I was just looking at something this morning too. about like some of the richest gold rocks being the ones that have the like fool's gold in it, and the greenstone schist, the mafic, the basalt. So that's interesting. That is interesting. Oh, and okay, and then this came out. This is what I mean. I should have, wait. I got a cup of water handy. I also got a hole in my lip. Okay. Yeah, these are, so this is what we're associating. This is what the rock and mineral book is associating with a greenstone marble. And if you guys were here, you could see how, like, see how shiny it is? And it's soft. So soft. And it's got very cool layers. Look at that. My new phone just picks it up so nice. So yeah, Dan Hurd had one of these. His came from Vancouver Island. It was more white, less pistachio than mine. But I assume that these are just particular to the area, right? So this is what I picked. Oh, and this. And this. Okay, don't drink out of this cup again, right? And this I picked out of the landslide too. So this is a piece of pink. Thank you very much for that. This is a piece of pink granite that came out of there, but it also has this cool, see how it's kind of faintly green? And what else I find interesting about these pieces is when you find this layer on here, it's always like, shh. It's like a shh, right? Like this was a piece of rock that rubbed against it from like a plate or something, right? It's not like formed in a big glob, and it's not like making crystals. It's just like somebody just like painted it on there, you know? And then the rest of the rock doesn't have any of that green. So there was a lot of these in there, right? Plate tectonics, yo. It's very cool. Super cool. So the pink in here is case bar, feldspar, case bar. Potassium, do I want to say silicate? So that was cool. And then of course, this metamorphic gneiss rock. Wasn't that cool? And this I had to bring home. Look at this zebra baby. Beauty. Pretty much a migmatite, right? Migmatite. Very cool. Very cool. Okay, and then this was like one of the whites that came out of there. And this has got a different name. Like, this is not quite a quartz crystal, right? It's like a looser, I want to say it's a lucerine. Or a calcite, albite. It's different. It's not a quartz. It's kind of got the shine. Oh, that would have been, I know, I wish I could capture something cool like that. I really wish I could, but then again, you don't want to be like standing there when you capture something like that, right? Woo! So anyways, that was kind of, this landslide's filled with all that kind of material. There is a few like more shiny blacks, but what we're really going to have to do is like, I just skip over a lot of the really interesting granite that comes out of there. And I feel like we need to do more videos where we do more specific about certain types of granites, because there's like dacite, there's diorite, there's gabbros, there's and the granite is all seems to be categorized by the different percentages of compositions of, yes, this landslide just happened like a month ago or something, but like I say, it's in this area where I think there's hot springs anyways. And there's there's a myth going around that there's blue quartz crystals up on the mountain there. And where the landslide came down, I feel like with my like detective skills, I think that's where those elusive blue quartz crystals are coming from. But I'm gonna have to find somebody that's got more time to go hiking with me. And I don't even know if I can fit it in the time that Wolfgang's at school, you know, and I don't think I can take him. Because I mean, Wolfgang's really tough. He is my kid. He's tough. He can make it a lot of places. I'm really surprised. I'm just looking for a bag. About like, yeah, I should send some specimens off for essay, but you know, it's so much more fun. There's this guy that's in my rock group, and he works at the school, and he's like a very like the technical side of our rock group, right? Like I'm like the finder. I'm like the one that's always like, hey, I found this, or like the deducer, right? And I'll be like, you know what, you guys, you could always look here, right? And the guys are much more like, yeah, like the bird, I put this into Chat GPT and I like cut this one in half with my saw, and like, I don't know. I'm probably the mystic of the group, right? The wanderer, right? So I will if I ever get around to doing that, but it costs money to like do that too, you know? You gotta like send it out and pay like $80 for a sample or something. And I find that I just learn a lot more like just checking it out, right? Yeah, I do. Well, it's kind of like their rock group and they just like invited me in, and I like steal all their science, and I send them pictures of things. And when they need to find something, I tell them where to go, right? Like, it's pretty funny actually. Except for the one guy, the Josh guy, he's really good. And the cool thing too about it with the rock group is like they got money and vehicles and toys and I don't, right? Yeah. I think I have, but I've been told to keep a lid on it. But we'll do that in other videos because I'm not really about, it's about the fun. It would be nice to make some money, but it's really, I guess, about the fun, right? So anyways, reasons why the landslide could smell like sulfur, okay? So it's probably H2S gas, right? Kind of, yeah. That's where my ADHD really shines. And we're going to talk about that at the end, okay? Okay, good. I'm just going to finish this. Okay, so reasons why. Okay, number one, the decomposition of organic matter, right? Was the landslide on a swamp? Was it on a mud flat? Was there decomposing plants and animals that got disturbed by the landslide? I did find those fossils. I don't know. I don't really, it's on the side of the mountain, so I'm kind of like, I'm not into that theory, but that is one reason why you could smell sulfur. Geological sources, certain types of bedrock like shale or sandstone naturally contain and produce H2S, which is hydrogen sulfide. Okay, so there's that. Hey, Matten, how's it going? Sorry, am I back? Sorry. Did it stop? Did it go? Yeah, I think so. And then, so volcanic or geothermal activity, landslides on active or dormant volcanoes. Thanks, Josh, because I had to like, I've got to get going here because I've got an appointment. I've got to hit downtown. Can disturb the groundwater that contains volcanic gases with H2S or sulfur dioxide. Sure, Matten, hit me up. And the last one was if the landslide goes through water that contains dissolved hydrogen sulfide gas, but or disturbing sewage. Okay, but my landslide didn't go through any sewage, and I don't think that it disturbed any water that was already there. There was water running down it, but I would say that the smelly stuff is because we're in a geothermal area due to the fact that I know that there's hot springs on the other side. Okay. So, that's my blurb about the landslide. Yes. Yes. Totally. It could have totally ran over a pocket of gas. So the other thing, thank you, I appreciate that. This is my own haircut too, right? I really wanted to cut it like next time you guys see me after my girlfriend's moving here that cuts hair, and we're gonna do like a wolf cut. So I'll have like kind of like half bang things going on. But I was gonna try and do it myself in the mirror with the double scissors, like Edward Scissorhands, but you know, then I get all kind of like, can I really do this? Is this something I can really do? I'm in my 40s. Is this what I'm doing now? Right? I'm like, no, thanks. Yeah, I thought so too. Thank you very much. Yeah, I got a picture of it. And she's coming in March. So hopefully that'll work out really good. Now I'm distracted. Okay, so landslide videos. You guys see my landslide and my landslide videos, and I'm like, oh, it stinks like sulfur. Now I've gone through the reasons why it stinks through sulfur, and I've told you that I think I'm 95% sure that it's because of the volcanic activity in the area. And and Tricky Ricky, so you're saying gas pockets? They're called fumaroles. So the force of the volcano could have opened up one of those pockets, and that pocket would have been called a fumarole. Fumaroles. Right? I'm actually, my family is actually from Austria and Scotland, because my last name is Duncan. I am from Duncan MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod, right? Which is kind of a weird mix, but it works for me. That's why my hair is kind of red. You can see me, I dye it red, but it was like, had some natural like red in it anyways from those Scottish Highlands, you know? I figure that people in Scotland gotta have like bright red hair because it's dark there, right? It's foggy. That's cool. Very cool. Yeah, Scottish is, I mean, all ethnicities are cool, but I'd definitely love to go to Scotland one day. Okay, so we're going to do a quick little blurb too here on the Gabbro. Okay, because that landslide is full of granite, which a lot of that granite is actually like gabbro, okay? And so here's the thing on that. So gabbro, from the Latin glabber, meaning smooth, is formed deep beneath the surface of the earth and contains more than 50% calcium-rich plagioclase, like silica, plagioclase, feldspar, silica. Okay, so the other thing was it's a, they call it a country rock, and it can form like in big, it's either because it like formed like a big country, like it was a big chunk of the continent, or it was a sill or a dike, right? So in this situation, I would almost say it was a sill or a dike. There's a quarry near this landslide where that's where I found that pegmatite piece, that pink mineral that you guys have seen me talk about quite a bit. This piece. Pretty neat, right? Growing on a piece of granite. So, and just from the way that the quarry is formed. I would say that the gabbro in this area comes from a cellar or dike. It's formed deep beneath the surface, and it occurs as a pluton, which is a deep-seated rock formation or small individual intrusions. It is formed from molten lava. And it's an intrusive equivalent of an extrusive basalt. So basically, on the outside, you would have the basalt. Outside, you'd have the basalt. On the inside, you're going to have the gabbro. All right? And so it's going to change right at the edge. Oh, really? Bedrock on top of silver. That is interesting. That is super interesting. You should send me a photograph on my Gmail. Okay, you guys. Yeah, it was kind of neat, hey, right? And we will talk about gabbro more. And I will gather all the specimens that I can so I can hold them up in front of you, and we'll talk about them more, and I'll go over this. But I just wanted to touch on it briefly today, because when I put those videos out, you're going to see me pick up some of these rocks, and I'm going to be like, oh, hornblende. But there is hornblende gabbro. And the next videos that we'll do, we'll talk about what is the difference. What is the difference between gabbro and granite? But I think that it's probably the silica content, and granite probably also has quartz and albite and different things in that, right? So I know, isn't this somebody? I was at the market, and this lady actually hand sewed these bags, and she bought something off me, and she gave me bags. So okay, so we're gonna do a raffle for a gift. You guys, if you join Mad Dog Mountain Arts memberships, you get a gift when I do a raffle. I try and do a raffle twice a month. Tariffs in the US have been hard on me for that. I'm not allowed to speak politics, but you guys all know what I'm talking about. I was going to give you guys some facts on Venezuela and Iceland today too, but then I thought, no. That's just going to open up a bag that I can't even talk about, right? So maybe next time. Next time. Because there's a silver mine in Venezuela that they call Man-Eater, which I thought was kind of cool. Okay. So, Tricky Ricky, you won the raffle. So, if you haven't sent me your address, send me your address, please, to maddogmountainarts@gmail.com. Okay, just like my name. And if you have sent it to me, sorry. I try to check my emails, but I get all wrapped up in a million things because, okay, so, because I have the ADHD, and I'm pretty sure that my son also has the ADHD. And I've just been I know I really love this rock channel and I want to make it go, and I've been trying to put all this effort into it, but it's really important right now that I learn how to parent him properly so that I'm not... There's just different ways, and it's becoming really, really apparent, I was watching this thing the other day. It's from this professor guy called Russell Barclay or Berkeley, and he's got all this ADHD YouTube stuff about your ADHD child. And well, he likes to make things. He does. He likes school because he's smart at it and he's good at it. But we all know, school is not so much about, right? It's about towing the line. It's about, can you listen? It's about, can you sit still for 8 hours? Okay? Who can sit still for 8 hours? So this Russell Berkeley, he had a really good thing. So he's your child is not flawed. It's you're sending your hunter child to school with farmers. No shade on farmers, but that's what it's like, right? So, right? So I spent a lot of time with him trying to explain the difference between good attention and bad attention, and like he will end up liking shop stuff. I can see that his mind like works that way. He's a really good builder. He's always paying super attention to his trucks and like minute little details and stuff. But we're not past the like, he hasn't developed the, like, he's careful. Like when we're out in the woods, not often does he fall and hurt himself, but his spatial awareness for the other things in the shop, I would be leery about that quite yet, right? I've been trying to teach him how to use like the knife to like cut up veggies and stuff like that, and he's pretty good. He's pretty good, but there's still like a few times where I'm like, okay, man, you got to pay attention. You're going to cut your finger off because he gets distracted easy, right? So, but I mean, don't we all? Don't we all? So, I'm gonna wrap it up here. I just really appreciate you guys like sticking with me through this, because that's my main focus right now, is just teaching myself how to be like a sports broadcaster parent. Like every time he does something right, or even if it's just something like so like, you know, even if he gets his pants on in the morning, I got to be like, good job, right? Because also with having ADHD, it's like your mind tells you probably 100 times more bad negative things about yourself every day, constantly. So I really have to work to combat those things. So you will still see me doing lives with Wolfgang, but they're going to be scattered. They're going to be like the puppet show, or like I'm just doing them while I'm doing them so that we can chat. But if I can't get back to you guys like I did in this one, or if I can't pay attention, that's what's going on. Or if you see me get like, and I cut it off, that's because I don't want to put any negative connotation on it. I want it to be a positive thing for him, but it's so scattered, so sporadic, so like blah 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 blah. But that's fine. That's fine. It's just when you guys see me with him, the content's not going to be like, we're not going to be like getting the facts out as good, right? So, and thanks, Josh. I super appreciate that. Send me your thanks. Thanks, Tricky Ricky. Yes. Yes, I do. I've got to keep that fine balance. And on that note, you guys, I really got to run because I got to get downtown in like half an hour. Send me where you're at. I'll send you something cool. Thanks for joining in the live, and more videos coming. Hope you guys have a great day, Josh and Tricky Ricky, and we'll see you guys later. Don't forget to check your Gabbro and watch out for that H2S gas, because it can be super dangerous also, right? Okay, see you guys later. Thanks, truck lover. Appreciate that. Yeah, I know, right? I am. Yeah, multitasking. Right.